Duckworth, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to correct the record here. Senator Tuberville has been given multiple off-ramps. He was offered a vote on Senator Ernst's bill, which was far, much more overall encompassing. He has been given lots of opportunities, and he's simply refusing to lift a hold. For the first time in over 100 years, we do not have a commandant of the Marine Corps, someone who can have the full power and authority of a commandant. This is absolutely unacceptable. We have all of these officers and their families. My colleagues talk about and laud the family members for their service. We have family members who are being pulled out of schools, unable to start a new school term. We have spouses who cannot start a new job, who've lost their jobs. The entire military readiness is slowly grinding to a halt, and it is going to get worse every single day because Senator Tuberville has injected politics into this. And let me make it clear, DOD statute is very clear. The DOD cannot fund abortions, and the DOD is not funding abortions. The DOD is simply providing the ability for service members to travel to a different state from the one in which they are assigned in order to receive reproductive health care. The DOD is not paying for those abortions. They're simply saying if you cannot get the reproductive health care you need, whether that is an abortion or IVF or an IUD or whatever that is, then you should be able to travel someplace for that. And you know who gets hurt the most on this? Our lowest ranking. It is the youngest women in the military. It is the spouses of the youngest men in the military who have to ask for a pass from their sergeants to leave their duty station so that they can go take care of their health care needs. And what we are telling them, what Senator Tuberville is telling them is, I don't care about you. Thank you for your service, but you cannot take care of your own health care or your spouse's health care. And to simply put this as this is a political thing and this is about the military providing abortion is absolutely categorically untrue because the military is not providing abortions in this instance. Now, let me also be clear that our men and women in uniform face so many hardships. They should be able to take care of themselves and their family members. Bottom line. And if there's anybody that's injecting politics into this, it's Senator Tuberville, who is fundraising. He's fundraising off of his hold on the military leadership that is affecting the national security of this country. If he truly cared about this, he wouldn't be fundraising off of it. That is my rant. Now, General George, good morning and welcome to you and your family, and congratulations on your nomination. I'm just going to skip all my preamble and just get to the point. General George, if confirmed, how would you direct the Army to prepare for a combat scenario where peer adversaries target our supply webs and logistical networks? This follows up on our conversation that we had. I care deeply about contested logistics. What efforts does the Army need to adopt to enhance resilience and effectiveness in a contested logistics environment? And how can Congress contribute to these efforts? We talked about this a little bit, and I wanted you to be able to elaborate on that here.
Yes, thanks, Senator. We have stood up a contested logistics, so we share your concern on this. It's absolutely critical, and this will be a partnership with really Army Futures Command is leading it with Army Material Command. But it's a challenge for us, and I think really for our country. From the strategic level, we've talked a lot this morning about an industrial base, but that's strategic readiness. And so making sure that you're protecting that and ammunition and what we're producing back here. And then the same thing with, ports and getting things in operational logistics all the way down to what we can do to tactical logistics. So it's a very I think I know you're familiar with the term that, logistics is for professionals. I mean, it's very challenging, very hard, and I think we're going to have to really partner. I know the Joint Force is thinking about this, and really it's going to take all of us together to make sure that we're as ready as we can be.
Thank you. Can you drill down a little bit on your experience as a commander and your multiple deployments in OIF and OEF? Dealing with operational logistics, especially energy, batteries for radios, diesel fuel, but then also talk a little bit about supply parts and perhaps the need for having additive metals milling equipment downrange so that we can produce some of our own repair parts.
Yeah, thanks for this, because it hadn't come up, Senator, is, you know, as I'll give an example. When I was a brigade, had a light brigade, BCT, in eastern Afghanistan, we lost soldiers because we had to move, you know, fuel and parts and do those kinds of things, so in very dangerous territory. Whatever we can do, I think that reducing fuel consumption makes us more nimble on the battlefield, and will obviously make a difference in the Pacific, but really anywhere. So, you know, battery, increasing that. I also, what I also like about that is that when you have, a lot of our vehicles have thermal sights, have different sights. When you are able to have, you know, the engine isn't running and you have silent watch, I think that makes you also more lethal. So we are focused on those kinds of things. For the individual soldier, I think it's also important because nobody likes to carry a lot of heavy batteries. So whatever we can do to also lighten that load, and we're working on all of those things.
The fewer batteries they carry, the more ammo they can carry,
That's
right?
exactly right. Yes,
Thank you.
Senator.
Who up?
Thank you.
I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator. Senator Cotton, please.
General George, welcome and congratulations on your nomination. Thanks for your lifetime of service. Mrs. George, thank you as well. I know that several